You are not here because the algorithm guessed correctly. You are here because something deeper pulled you in. There is a quiet seriousness in the air right now, as if time itself slowed down just enough to look you in the eyes. This is not entertainment. This is a checkpoint, a moment where your life gently but firmly asks you a question you have been avoiding. You have felt it for a while, that subtle pressure behind your decisions. That sense that if you keep going exactly as you are, something important will be missed. You still function, you still show up, but inside, something is unsettled, not broken, unfinished. And unfinished things always return to be dealt with. Look at your daily routine. You wake up already thinking about responsibility. Work emails, deadlines, numbers, bills, expectations. You are productive, yet oddly disconnected. You may even be successful by external standards. But success without alignment slowly becomes a burden. You carry it, but it does not carry you. In your finances, you try to be wise, careful, strategic. Yet no matter how much you plan, peace seems fragile. One delay, one unexpected cost, one bad decision from someone else, and anxiety rushes in. In your family, you are dependable, the strong one, the one who handles it, but who handles you when the lights are off and the noise fades. This is not weakness, this is a signal. There comes a point in life when ignoring the signal becomes more dangerous than responding to it. And that point is closer than you think. Not because God is angry, but because you are being trusted with more than you are currently holding. The ancient words recorded in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 26. Speak with unsettling clarity. Everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on sand. Notice the weight of that statement. The problem is not ignorance. It is not that the person never heard. They heard but did not act. The danger is not rejection. It is delay. Sand feels stable until pressure comes. And pressure always comes. Right now, pressure may be showing up subtly. A restlessness you cannot shake, a pattern repeating in your career, the same arguments in your family, the same compromises in your character. You tell yourself, later, when things calm down, when I have more time. But life does not calm down on its own. Alignment is what calms it. This is where regret is quietly born, not in dramatic failures, but in postponed obedience, in half decisions, in knowing better but choosing familiar. Yet hear this clearly, this message is not here to frighten you. It is here to fortify you. Imagine a different picture. Imagine building on rock, not a perfect life, but a stable one. You still work hard, but your work no longer owns you. You manage money, but money no longer dictates your mood. You lead your family not just with provision, but with presence. Storms still come, but they no longer threaten your foundation. That kind of life does not appear suddenly. It is constructed choice by choice, moment by moment, starting with moments like this one. You may be facing a very practical decision right now. Do you stay silent at work when your integrity is tested? Or do you speak with wisdom and courage? Do you keep postponing that difficult conversation in your family? Or do you bring truth wrapped in love? Do you continue numbing yourself with distractions? Or do you finally sit alone long enough to listen? These are not small choices. They are architectural decisions. They determine what your future rests on. And here is the hope woven through all of this. It is not too late to rebuild, even if parts of your life already feel shaky. Foundations can be reinforced. God specializes in renovation, not condemnation. Conviction is not rejection, it is invitation. Let me slow this moment down and ask you plainly if a storm exposed the foundation of your life today. What would it reveal, and what would you wish you had strengthened sooner? Do not answer quickly. Let the question do its work. You are not being asked to fix everything today. You are being asked to stop pretending delay is neutral. It is not. Delay always leans in one direction or the other. If this message is speaking to you, take a step out of silence, like this message. Share it with someone who may be building on sand without realizing it. Subscribe so you stay connected to what is unfolding next, because this is a progression, not a one-time moment. As a final act in this section, type 999 in the comments, not as superstition, but as a statement, an end to delay, an end to indecision, an end to building without intention. Let it mark a turning point. You have heard. Now you get to choose what you build on. You have carried pain that never showed up on your resume. Pain that does not announce itself, but quietly shapes the way you think. Choose and protect yourself. People see your discipline, your resilience, your ability to keep going. They do not see the weight underneath it, the nights when you replay conversations, the mornings when motivation feels forced, the moments when you wonder why life demanded so much from you so early. What if none of that was random? There is a temptation to believe that suffering is proof you missed God somehow, that if you had chosen better, prayed harder, waited longer, life would have been softer. But that belief collapses the moment you look closely at your own story. Some of the hardest seasons came not from rebellion, but from obedience. Not from recklessness, but from endurance. You stayed. You held on. You endured things others walked away from. That kind of pain leaves marks. It can make you cautious. It can make you slow to trust joy. It can make you keep parts of yourself guarded, even from God. And yet, those very marks are evidence that your life has been under construction, not under punishment. Consider a simple, ordinary situation. You are at work, sitting in a meeting where decisions are being made that affect your future. You have ideas, good ones, but you hesitate, not because you lack competence, but because you learned long ago that visibility can be costly. Somewhere in your past, being seen led to loss. Being honest led to rejection. So now you stay quiet, telling yourself it is wisdom, when in reality it is old pain steering the wheel. Or think about your finances. You are careful, even anxious. You track expenses, avoid risks, hesitate to invest, whether in opportunities or in people. Because once, resources disappeared suddenly, support vanished, security collapsed, and you promised yourself you would never be that vulnerable again. What looks like prudence on the surface is often unhealed fear underneath. Pain is a teacher, but it is not meant to be a permanent leader. The Apostle Paul wrote in the letter to the Romans, chapter 8, verse 28, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." Notice the phrase, all things. Not good things, not spiritual things, all things, including the unfair ones, the confusing ones, the seasons that made you question your worth and your direction. The verse does not say all things are good. It says God works them for good. That implies process, time, transformation. Your pain was not designed to disqualify you. It was designed to deepen you. Every disappointment trained your discernment. Every loss sharpened your empathy. Every season of isolation strengthened your ability to stand without applause. You learned how to survive without reassurance, how to keep moving without clarity, how to be faithful when outcomes were uncertain. These are not accidental skills, and they are leadership traits. But here is the tension: what once protected you can now limit you. The same emotional armor that kept you functioning during crisis can now block intimacy, creativity, and boldness. The coping mechanisms that helped you endure can quietly prevent you from expanding. God does not want you trapped in survival mode when you were built for stewardship. There is hope here, and it is not abstract. Healing does not mean erasing the past. It means reassigning it, letting God reinterpret what you thought was wasted time as preparation, letting Him show you how to use what hurt you to help others. This is where calling begins to emerge, not from perfection, but from processed pain. Imagine a different version of your daily life. You still work hard, but you no longer hide your voice. You still manage money wisely, but fear no longer dictates your generosity or your decisions. In your family, you stop over-functioning and start setting healthy boundaries. You lead not as a response to trauma, but from a place of clarity. That shift does not happen by denying pain. It happens by naming it and then choosing not to let it define the limits of your future. This is where many people get stuck. They honor their pain more than their calling. They say, "This is just how I am now," without realizing that God never intended pain to have the final word. It was a chapter, not the conclusion. Let this land honestly. Are you still making present-day decisions based on past wounds God already intended to redeem? Sit with that question, not to judge yourself, but to understand yourself. You are allowed to outgrow survival strategies. You are allowed to trust again with wisdom. You are allowed to step forward without having every variable controlled. The same God who carried you through what almost broke you is capable of guiding you into what will finally build you. Your pain was assigned, but not to imprison you. It was assigned to prepare you for weight, responsibility, and influence you could not have carried before. And when the time comes, you will realize nothing was wasted, not even the tears you thought no one saw. There is a moment in every calling when permission quietly expires. Not because God becomes harsh, but because clarity has already been given. What was once confusion is no longer confusion. What was once a process has become a decision. And yet many people keep returning to doors heaven already closed, calling it prayer when it is actually negotiation. This section is not about condemnation. It is about discernment. You have already been forgiven for the past, but forgiveness does not mean access is unlimited. Some seasons end not because you failed, but because you finished. And the danger is not sin you regret. It is familiarity you keep revisiting long after grace taught you the lesson. Let's bring this down into real life. Think about your daily patterns. You keep checking messages from someone you already know pulls you backward emotionally. You tell yourself you're just being kind, mature, or available, but every interaction leaves you drained, unsettled, foggy. Or consider work a role you prayed to escape, yet now that an exit is possible, you hesitate. You start romanticizing the old stress because it feels predictable, safe, known. This is how boundaries blur, not loudly but politely. There is a difference between compassion and compromise. A difference between patience and procrastination. A difference between mercy and disobedience. God forgives instantly, but growth requires alignment. And alignment demands that some lines once revealed are not crossed again. The prophet Elijah spoke as recorded in the first book of Kings, chapter 18, verse 21. How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow Him. That question is not aggressive. It is surgical. How long, meaning this was understandable for a time, but time is past. Here are practical indicators that a boundary has already been forgiven and finalized. First, peace leaves before guilt arrives. You are not convicted, you are unsettled. Something feels off, even if you cannot explain it logically. This is often the spirit signaling that you are revisiting something you were already released from. Second, your prayers about the situation go unanswered not because God is silent, but because He already spoke. When prayer turns into repetition without clarity, it may be because you are asking for permission where you were already given direction. Third, returning costs more than it used to, emotionally, spiritually, even financially. What once felt manageable now feels heavy. That heaviness is not punishment, it is resistance. Grace is no longer empowering that direction. Now, what does it mean to stop negotiating with what God closed? It means you stop asking, "Can I?" and start asking, "Should I?" It means you stop reopening conversations God already ended. It means you stop spiritualizing attachment. In daily practice, this looks very grounded and very practical. At work, it may mean declining a role that feeds your ego but erodes your integrity, even if it pays more, even if others applaud it, because you already know the cost. In finances, it may mean refusing shortcuts that compromise peace. Not everything profitable is permissible for you. Some gains are too expensive spiritually. In relationships, it may mean ending access, not out of anger, but out of obedience. You can forgive someone fully and still not give them proximity. Forgiveness heals the heart. Boundaries protect the future. This is where many people hesitate, because obedience here feels final, and finality scares us. We want the option to go back just in case, but faith does not grow in backup plans. It grows in surrendered clarity. Here is the hope you need to hear clearly when God closes a door. He does not leave you in a hallway forever. Closure is always followed by redirection, but redirection requires that your hands are empty. You cannot receive what is next while gripping what was. Picture your life 6 months from now if you stop negotiating. Your mind is quieter. Decisions take less emotional energy. You no longer replay the same internal debates. You move forward with fewer explanations. Because clarity reduces the need to justify yourself. This does not make life easy, so it makes it clean. Let me ask you directly, without softening it. What are you still entertaining that God already helped you survive without? Do not answer emotionally, answer honestly. Now, here is your practical instruction, simple but not shallow. This week, when an old option reappears, pause. Do not react. Ask one question. Is this aligned with who I am becoming or who I already outgrew if it belongs to who you outgrew? You do not need more prayer. You need closure. At the end of this section, make a quiet but public declaration. In the comments, type "I choose clarity." This is not a slogan. It is a statement of alignment. It means you are choosing obedience over nostalgia, direction over delay, peace over permission. Clarity will cost you familiarity, but it will give you authority. Something has been stirring beneath the surface for a long time now. Not urgency authority, not noise weight. You are beginning to sense that you were never meant to live life merely reacting. You were meant to stand, to decide, to carry responsibility with heaven's permission behind it. This is not arrogance, this is awakening. Authority does not arrive loudly, it comes quietly. The moment you stop asking everyone else who you are allowed to be. For much of your life, you were taught to wait for approval, wait for timing, wait until you felt ready. But readiness is often revealed only after obedience. You do not step into authority because you feel powerful. You feel powerful because you finally step. Look at your everyday life. At work, you see inefficiencies others accept as normal. You notice ethical shortcuts quietly justified. You sense better systems, clearer paths, but you hesitate. Not because you lack intelligence, but because you understand the cost of visibility. Leadership attracts resistance. So you shrink your voice, call it humility, and remain silent when wisdom is required. At home, in your family, authority looks different. It is not volume, it is consistency. You may be the one who absorbs tension so others can stay comfortable, but peacekeeping without truth slowly erodes respect. Authority does not dominate, it stabilizes. It speaks calmly, clearly, and does not retreat when emotions rise. Even internally, authority matters. The way you talk to yourself, the standards you tolerate when no one is watching, the habits you excuse because this season is hard. Many external struggles are simply internal authority gaps waiting to be addressed. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 10, verse 19, "I have given you authority to trample on snakes and scorpions and to overcome all the power of the enemy. Nothing will harm you." He did not say you would feel powerful. He said authority was given. Authority is delegated. It exists whether you acknowledge it or not. The question is not whether you have it. The question is whether you are using it. Most resistance you face is not direct attack. It is subtle intimidation. A quiet voice asking, "Who do you think you are to decide that a reminder of past mistakes? An exaggeration of what you might lose if you obey." And when you agree with that voice, authority is not stolen, it is surrendered. Authority shows up in daily practices, not dramatic moments. It looks like making decisions without rehearsing explanations. It looks like declining opportunities that misalign your values, even when they flatter your ego. It looks like managing finances with vision, not impulse, choosing long-term peace over short-term relief. It looks like leading your household with calm firmness instead of emotional reaction. Authority is quiet confidence rooted in alignment. There comes a point when you must stop outsourcing your discernment. Advice can inform you, but it cannot replace obedience. You can listen to many voices, but you cannot delegate responsibility for your own calling. Many people stall here. They wait for consensus instead of confirmation. They mistake agreement for permission. But authority does not require applause. It requires clarity. And here is the hope: authority does not isolate you. It grounds you. When you step into it, chaos loses its grip on your emotions. Opposition no longer controls your pace. You become steady, anchored, harder to manipulate. Picture your life months from now. You enter rooms without shrinking. You speak with measured confidence. Your decisions carry weight because they are not rushed. People trust you not because you control them, but because your presence settles uncertainty. Let me ask you plainly, where in your life have you been waiting for permission even though authority was already placed in your hands? Sit with that. Now, this is not a command, it is an image. If this message feels like a fire you do not want to let die, there are gentle ways to tend it. To like this message is like placing a ring of stones around a flame, small, almost invisible, but it keeps the fire from being scattered by the wind. To share it is like lifting a torch on a dark road, not because you are ahead, but because you recognize the path and refuse to let others walk blind. To subscribe is choosing to keep returning to the same well, drawing again and again when thirst comes, instead of pretending you no longer need water. None of these are obligations. They are voluntary acts of alignment. Quiet signals that say this mattered enough to stay with. Some fires are not meant to blaze once and vanish. They are meant to be guarded, revisited, and grown until they become light for others. You are not becoming someone else. You are returning to who you were before fear taught you to be smaller. And when you finally stand there rooted, clear, unshaken, you will realize something profound and steady: you were never waiting on heaven. Heaven was waiting on you. Before the water moved, the people had to move first. The story begins at the edge of a river that refused to cooperate. The Jordan was not calm. It was flood season. The current was strong, the timing inconvenient, the conditions unreasonable. Behind the people of Israel was the wilderness they had survived. Ahead of them was the promise they had waited for, and in between an impossible crossing. This is not just ancient history, this is a pattern. Many people imagine God opens the way before they step. But in this story, the water did not part while they were standing safely on the bank, debating, analyzing, preparing speeches. The priests carrying the ark had to place their feet into the river first. Only then did the water begin to pull back. Joshua spoke to the people before the crossing, recorded in the book of Joshua, chapter 3, verse 5. Consecrate yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do amazing things among you. Notice the order. Consecration comes before evidence, alignment before assurance, obedience before outcome. This is where the story becomes uncomfortably relevant to your daily life. You are standing at your own Jordan, not a river of water, but a threshold, a decision, a transition you cannot control with logic alone. Maybe it is a career move that requires faith instead of guarantees. Maybe it is leaving a financial pattern that feels safe but keeps you small. Maybe it is stepping into leadership at home, ending cycles your family normalized for generations. Like Israel, you have history behind you. Long seasons of survival, familiar discomfort. You know how to function there. But what is ahead of you calling? Expansion. Responsibility requires movement you cannot fully rehearse. And here is the tension: the Jordan does not part for observers. It responds to carriers. The priests were carrying something sacred, something heavy, something that represented God's presence. And carriers do not wait for conditions to be perfect. They move when instructed, even if their feet get wet first. In modern life, this looks very practical. It looks like updating your resume and applying before you feel ready. It looks like budgeting differently before the numbers look comfortable. It looks like setting a boundary in a relationship before the other person agrees with it. It looks like changing habits, not because life is stable, but because instability exposed the need. Consecration today does not mean isolation from life. It means clarity within it. It means deciding in advance what you will carry and what you will leave behind. The Israelites crossed the Jordan and then did something strange. They stopped to deal with unfinished obedience from the past. They could not enter the next phase carrying unresolved identity. Some of you are asking God to open doors while still holding on to versions of yourself that cannot survive where you are going. That is why this crossing feels slow, heavy, costly. But here is the hope hidden in the story. The river did not stay open forever. It opened for them, for that moment, for those who moved. Delay would have meant missing the window. God does not rush you, but timing still matters. You may feel pressure right now, not panic, but insistence, a sense that something must change. That is not fear. That is invitation. Tomorrow belongs to those who prepare today. Think about your finances again. You may be waiting for more money to feel disciplined, but discipline often precedes increase. Or in your work, you may be waiting for confidence to speak, but confidence often follows obedience, not the other way around. In family matters, you may be waiting for others to change, but leadership often means you move first. The Jordan did not part upstream where no one could see it. It stopped right where their feet touched the water, in front of witnesses, in real time. God met movement with miracle. Let me ask you something pointed and honest. What would obedience look like if you stopped waiting for conditions to change first? Because this is the dividing line between those who admire promises and those who inherit them. After the crossing, The people set up memorial stones not to celebrate courage, but to remember faithfulness. They needed reminders because future generations would face their own rivers. Your obedience today becomes someone else's testimony tomorrow. And this is important. Crossing does not mean life becomes easy. It means life becomes aligned. Jericho still stood ahead. Challenges still waited. But now they faced them on the right side of the river. So here's the invitation for this moment, not loud, but intentional. At the end of this section, if you recognize yourself standing at the edge, type 12 in the comments. Not as a superstition, as a marker. 12 stones were taken from the Jordan as a sign that God brought them through. This number becomes your quiet declaration: I am preparing. I am stepping. I am not turning back to the wilderness. You do not need the whole map. You need the next step. And when your foot touches the water, you may be surprised how quickly the current responds. There is a quieter battle you are facing now, one that does not look dramatic from the outside. No crisis, no emergency, just a steady pull between what is comfortable and what is calling you higher. This battle is more dangerous than chaos, because comfort rarely feels like disobedience. It feels reasonable, earned, deserved. You have been through enough to justify wanting ease. After everything you carried, everything you survived, who could blame you for choosing rest over resistance, familiarity over faith, predictability over purpose? And yet, somewhere inside, you know this truth: comfort can become a ceiling. This is the tension of this season. You are no longer fighting to survive, you are being asked to decide how you will live. Comfort says, you've done enough. Calling says, you're not finished. Comfort whispers that maintaining peace is the highest goal. Calling insists that peace without alignment is only quiet discontent. Look at how this shows up in ordinary life. At work, you know how to operate on autopilot. You meet expectations, avoid conflict, collect stability. But there is a version of you that could lead, innovate, confront what others avoid. That version costs energy, visibility, risk. So comfort suggests you stay where you are safe, competent, unseen. In your finances, comfort avoids long-term discipline. It chooses short-term relief. It postpones generosity until later. It delays stewardship decisions because they feel restrictive. But calling understands that what you manage today shapes the freedom you walk in tomorrow. In relationships, comfort keeps the peace at all costs. It avoids hard conversations. It tolerates imbalance. It stays quiet so things don't get worse. Calling, however, values truth over temporary harmony. It knows that love without honesty eventually collapses under its own weight. Choosing the crown over comfort does not mean rejecting rest. It means refusing to live beneath responsibility. The ancient words recorded in the letter to the Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 11, speak with painful accuracy. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. Notice the sequence: discipline first, harvest later, training before peace. Many people want the peace described at the end of the verse without submitting to the process that produces it. But peace that has not been trained into you will abandon you the moment pressure returns. This is why comfort can feel so attractive. It offers immediate relief without demanding transformation. But it never produces crowns. Only endurance does. Crowns in Scripture are not symbols of ease. They are symbols of responsibility carried well. They represent weight, not luxury. Authority, not indulgence. When you choose calling, you are not choosing a harder life. You are choosing a truer one. Here is the internal shift that marks this season. You stop asking, what feels best right now and start asking, what will I respect myself for later? That question changes everything. It changes how you spend your evenings. It changes how you respond to conflict. It changes which opportunities you accept and which you decline. And yes, it changes how lonely obedience can sometimes feel. Because choosing calling often means walking ahead of affirmation. You may outgrow environments before replacements appear. You may feel temporarily misunderstood. That does not mean you are wrong. It means you are early. There is hope woven into this, and it is very practical. When you choose discipline, clarity increases. When you choose responsibility, confidence stabilizes. When you choose truth, peace deepens. Not instantly, but inevitably. Picture yourself a year from now having chosen comfort every time. Life would look manageable, predictable. But something inside you would feel smaller, duller, like a muscle never used. Now picture the alternative. You chose discipline when it was inconvenient. You had the hard conversations, you set the boundary, you stewarded instead of indulged. You spoke when silence felt easier. Life may not be perfect, but you would stand straighter. You would trust yourself more. You would recognize your own authority. This is what choosing the crown looks like in real life. Not applause, not luxury, but self-respect anchored in obedience. Let me ask you something that only you can answer honestly. Where have you been calling comfort wisdom when it was actually avoidance? Sit with that question. Do not rush to justify yourself. Growth begins with truth, not defense. The good news is this: God does not despise your need for rest. He simply refuses to let rest replace calling. He invites you into rhythms that strengthen you, not numb you. Into disciplines that free you, not confine you. You are not being asked to strive harder. You are being asked to align deeper. The crown is not taken, it is grown into. Slowly, quietly. Through daily choices no one applauds. And one day, you realize you are carrying weight that once would have crushed you. That is not because life got lighter. It is because you became stronger. You have come a long way to arrive at this moment. Not in distance, but in depth. Something within you has settled. Not excitement, certainty. Not noise grounding. You are no longer listening to these words as motivation. You are receiving them as confirmation, like a seal pressed quietly into wax, permanent, intentional. This is not the end of the journey. This is the moment you stop looking over your shoulder. There is a final test that comes after obedience, and it is subtle. It does not look like temptation. It looks like reflection. A gentle question rises. Was it worth it? Did I choose correctly? These thoughts do not signal doubt, they signal transition. When a season ends, the soul instinctively checks its footing. You are being sealed not because you were perfect, but because you stayed. In everyday life, sealing feels ordinary. You still wake up to emails, responsibilities, family needs. But the way you carry them has changed. You are no longer driven by urgency or fear of falling behind. You move with intention. You choose with restraint. You rest without guilt. At work, you notice people responding differently to you. Not because you demanded attention, but because your presence has weight. You do not chase influence, you carry it. In finances, you no longer panic at fluctuation. You steward, you plan, you trust process over impulse. In relationships, you stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You show up steady, honest, grounded. This is what it means to be sent, not removed from life, but placed within it with clarity. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 3. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. Established plans do not collapse easily. They may bend, They may adjust, but they do not unravel at the first sign of resistance. Establishment is the fruit of surrender over time. You have been trained quietly, through consistency, through restraint, through obedience that rarely received applause. That kind of faith forms authority that does not need permission. There is a crown forming, not something you wear for show, but something you carry, a weight of responsibility you can now bear without resentment. Authority that does not announce itself. Confidence that does not depend on recognition. Imagine yourself looking back on this season a year from now. You will not remember every detail, but you will remember the turning. The moment you stopped negotiating. The moment you chose alignment over comfort. The moment you trusted direction more than familiarity. That choice will ripple outward. Your family will feel it. Your work will reflect it. People you have not even met yet will benefit from it. Because sent people become markers. Others orient themselves by watching how you move. Let me ask you one final question, simple but honest. Who becomes safer, stronger, or clearer because you chose not to turn back? Hold that answer. And now, no pressure. No command, just an image to close this journey. To like this message is like setting a covenant stone at the place you crossed, no applause. Just a quiet marker that says this is where alignment began. To share it is like lifting a lantern at a crossroads at dusk, not to lead crowds, but to ensure no one has to wander without light. To subscribe is choosing to keep a compass instead of guessing, returning to the same true north whenever the road grows unfamiliar. These are not clicks, they are gestures, small acts of recognition that say this mattered enough to carry forward. And if you choose to leave a comment, let it be a single line, like carving initials into a tree you intend to return to, not to be seen, but to remember where the turning happened. Some moments are not meant to be rushed past. They are meant to be honored. You are sealed, not frozen in perfection, but grounded in direction. You are sent not to impress, but to serve. You are crowned not with ease, but with responsibility you are now strong enough to carry. Walk forward, steady, unashamed, unafraid. You stand now in the quiet aftermath of decision, where nothing explodes outward, yet everything inside has been rearranged. This is the sacred stillness where roots go deeper. What changed today may not be visible yet, but it has already altered direction permanently. Do not measure this moment by emotion. Measure it by resolve. Real transformation rarely announces itself. It settles in, then proves itself over time when old patterns no longer tempt you, and new strength appears without being summoned. There will be ordinary days ahead that test what you chose here. On those days, remember, alignment is not proven in inspiration but in repetition. Returning to truth again and again is how identity becomes unshakable and purpose becomes embodied. Walk gently now, but do not walk backward. What lies ahead will require you, but it will also recognize you. You were shaped for this path long before you understood it, and now you are finally walking it awake. Before you leave this moment, pause not to decide anything, but to notice what stayed with you. Some words pass through quickly, others linger, not because they were loud, but because they touched something already awake inside you. You do not need to judge that. Simply acknowledge it. If parts of this message felt useful, steady, or grounding, you may choose to let it travel further. Sharing is not an obligation. It is a quiet way of saying, this might help someone else the way it helped me. You never know who is standing at the edge of their own decision, needing language for what they cannot yet explain. And if the message did not resonate in its entirety, that is also allowed. Not every word is meant to be carried. You are free to keep only what spoke to you, the single idea, the single image, the single sentence that felt true. Sometimes one small truth is more powerful than an entire explanation. You do not owe this moment anything. It does not demand agreement or action. It simply offered itself. What you do with it belongs to you. Life will continue after this. Emails will return. Responsibilities will wait. Routines will resume. But something subtle may accompany you back into them, a steadier pace, a clearer boundary, a quieter confidence. If that happens, let it. You do not need to name it yet. If you feel moved to share, do so gently. If you feel called to remain silent, honor that too. Both are forms of wisdom. What matters most is not how you respond here, but how you live afterward. Pay attention to the small choices. Notice what you no longer tolerate. Observe where you feel less rushed, less divided, more present. This ending does not close anything. It leaves space. Take what you need, leave what you don't, and walk on unhurried, attentive, awake,